Fine. Welcome, guys. If you can hear me and see me, I'm just getting some logistics that are set up for class tonight, and then I'll connect with you in just a couple minutes, but get yourself settled. Mm. Hey there, Joe. I see ya. Good. I'm just gonna put myself off video for just a second so I can set up on Facebook Live too, because I've got to do both. So I'll be right back. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, just realized I was on mute. Just another 30 seconds. I think I have everything ready here. Just want to make sure it's all set before I step away. doing something new tonight where I'm filming live to Facebook from Zoom. It's funky. Rather than having one camera with Zoom and one with Facebook Live, I have them all through one camera. So little technology workaround that I'm just trying to make sure we have, pay a little extra attention to before I start. All right. Sorry, the video went off. Hey guys, I know some of you here are on Zoom and I am so sorry. It all just canceled on Facebook Live. Let me just try 30 more seconds one more time to see if I can get that Facebook Live going, and then I won't hold you up any longer, I promise. But let me just press that button one more time and see what I can do. All right, let's do. All right. All right, guys. So let's start. It might be on Facebook. I have no idea. It looks like it. We're trying new technology for tonight, so we'll see. So welcome. Yin Vinyasa Yoga. My name's Lindsay, and we'll be flowing on Monday nights at 5, definitely through the month of May for sure. Oh, your screen says live on Facebook too. And that's good to know. On Facebook, people can only see me. They can't see anyone else who's on this meeting. So it's just streaming from my camera, and you guys can feel free in these classes on Zoom, if you're on Zoom, to have your camera on, have your camera off, whatever just helps you feel more connected throughout class. I can see who's here on Zoom, which is fun to at least see your names, even if you're not on video. So for class tonight, one thing we're going to focus on is opening across the front of our chest, pec muscles, shoulder muscles here, and free up some space, especially if you've been doing a lot of this recently, which is really, really easy. So we're going to do that for about the first 25, 30 minutes, focus on that opening with our flow. And then the last 25 minutes in this 50-minute class, we'll settle into some nice deep stretches, focus on our hips and legs. All right, guys, so let's get started. And thanks for being patient with me as I got set up today. So to begin, we're just going to start off in a nice, comfortable seat. Any way that you want to sit, we'll just be here for 1.5 minutes, not too long. I do want you to bring one hand to your chest and one hand to your low belly. And then here, close your eyes if you haven't already. And as you're here, feel it lift up through your spine. Draw your shoulder blades just slightly towards each other. Enough where you feel like you have a tall posture, but not too much that you're overworking. And where your upper hand is, around your chest, I want you to try to take a few deep breaths into that region of your upper body. So inhale and fill your chest up, front and back. And exhale, feel your chest just release and collapse back down. And 4 more breaths like that. Inhale to fill your chest, front and back. And exhale, feel your chest release and contract. Inhale and expand through your upper chest and through your collarbones. Exhale and feel that release. Again, inhale your chest, your collarbones fill up, front, back, left, right. And then longest exhale so far. Keep breathing out for 3, for 2, and for 1. Good. Release your hands, breathe steadily, and slowly start to open your eyes. Come on into a tabletop pose, onto your hands and onto your knees. And a few cow and cat to begin. So inhale to lift your chest and tail for cow. And then exhale, round your back for cat. And 3 more. Inhale, lift your chest and your tail. Exhale and round your back. Really press the floor away. Stretch between your shoulder blades. Inhale, lift your chest and your tail. Exhale and round your back. 1 more time. Inhale, breath. And exhale, round your back. Hold here and breathe. Stay for 1 more round of a breath in this cat. Stay for the exhale. And now inhale into a neutral spine. Curl your toes under. Lift your knees to a hover. So you're on a hovering knee in tabletop pose. With the rest of your body, I want you to activate it. We're really not stretching much here. We are hugging in engagement. So before we really expand out, expand open our chest, expand our shoulders, we are going to hug in and contract for just a few more breaths. If this gets too tough, drop your knees just for one breath and then come back. Hold for 4. Stay one breath longer than you think you can. Good, one more breath here. Okay, downward facing dog. Lift your hips, move your feet back, and stretch out from your hands through your legs. Nice, guys. And start to move around your legs a little bit. Call this walking your dog. So you just walk your legs by bending one leg and then bending the other leg. Walking out your down dog. You can make this as simple or even as funky as you like, kind of moving your hips side to side. Good. And then you're going to take your right leg up to the air, full inhale breath. Exhale, look forward, step your right foot to your hands. Nice. Lift your right arm up to twist to the right. Have your chest and your front thigh be close together. If your left shoulder dips in to do that, then move your left hand closer to your right foot. And take one more breath, look up, twist, 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 and then hands down to the ground and your back knee down to the ground. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Nice. Hold here. And then open your arms out like a T. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the right. Each exhale you take, expand your arms a little bit more to twist and look behind you. Keep your hips going forward and down. Take one more breath. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Reach, look up and look back just a little bit more from where you are. And then lower your hands to the floor. Nice. Downward facing dog. Step on back. Left leg up to the sky as you inhale. And step your foot to your hands. Exhale, back knee to the ground. Just kidding. Straighten your back leg. Right hand, move it a little closer to your front foot. Left arm out and up. And so the focus is from shoulder to shoulder, collarbone to collarbone. Can you reach out and expand across the front of your chest? Collapsing might look like this, like falling into your bottom shoulder. You're going to press and lift. Bring both hands to the ground, lower your back knee for real. Point your toes and inhale your arms up. Exhale your arms like a T. Now pull your core muscles in, inhale, and twist to the left on your exhale. Nice. One breath at a time. It doesn't have to be one big twist all on your exhale. Keep your hips going forward and down. Look over your back thumb. It's there. Keep going for it. Good. Take one more breath. Stay, exhale. Good. Sweep both arms up. That back arm kind of come down, around, and then both arms up. It's a nice transition if you want. Inhale, look up. Exhale, lean back. 3. Press into the shoelaces of your back foot. 2. Good. Hands to the ground. Downward facing dog pose. Go back. Inhale to plank pose. Shoulders over your wrists. Lower your knees to the ground. Your chest and your chin to the ground. Slide your hips back and your chest forward. Baby cobra pose. So you're not using your hands much, maybe a little lift, a little press. Hold here, interlace your hands behind your back. Here's where we have a nice chest opener. Hug your legs towards each other. Lift one more rib off the mat and lift your legs off the ground. And feel everything hug into the center line of your body. Your thighs hug in, shoulder blades hug in. Take one more breath. And then downward facing dog. Exhale, go on back. Awesome. Take your right leg up to the sky, inhale. Step your foot between your hands. Exhale, hold there. Move your left hand closer to your front foot. Twist open to the right. Find that reach across shoulder to shoulder. And drop your hand down to the ground, lower your knee. Inhale your arms up and then exhale into a T with your arms. Inhale, reach out, left and right. Exhale, hug your core in and twist your trunk to the right. Now take your back hand down your back thigh, even to your low back, whatever works. Reach up with your top arm. Keep twisting over to the right as you go back. 3, 2, and then hands down to the ground. Give them like a cartwheel movement. Step back, downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Step your foot to your hands, exhale. Move your right hand a little closer to your foot so it's underneath your right shoulder. Left arm comes up and twist to the left. Make your top hand part of the pose. And as best as you can, lower your hips so that your front thigh is parallel to the floor. You'll get a nice good glute and hamstring stretch by doing that. Lower both hands to the mat. Lower your knee and drop your shoelaces of your back foot down. Inhale your arms up. Arms out like a T. On your inhale, expand your wingspan. Exhale, hug your core muscles in to rotate. Breathe in, hug your front thigh towards the midline. Exhale, twist and drop your back hand. Bring your right arm up to the sky, and you're twisting and back bending at the same time. Good, 3. Soften your jaw, smile through your eyes. And then windmill your hands down, cartwheel them down, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank pose. Lower your knees, your chest and your chin, and then snake your hips back and chest forward, baby cobra. Bring your legs closer towards each other. Do a little leg shimmy. Interlace your hands, other hand on top behind you. Draw one more rib off the mat. Lift your hands to shoulder height. Now lift your legs. Hug in. Draw in to expand up for 3. For 2, keep making space across your chest. And downward facing dog. Exhale that back. Good, take a breath here. So we did 2 sets of those lunges, and we're gonna do 1 more set. So 1 more time each side. Lift your right leg up to the ceiling, inhale. Right foot to your hands, lower your back knee. Don't lower your back knee, keep it straight, twist to the right. Just seeing if you guys are being present to your game, you know, giving you a little test. And then hands down to the floor. Now drop your back knee. You knew that was coming. Arms up overhead. Arms out like a T. Increase your wingspan, hug your core in and twist to the right. Good. Go back in this reverse lunge. Right hand to your back leg. Left arm to the sky, 3, 2, and then hands cartwheel down to the ground, downward dog. This is supposed to warm you up a little bit, so if you're feeling warmer, good. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Step your foot to your hands gently, exhale. Twist, right hand down, left arm up. Chest to chest, hand to hand. Feel that reach. There you go. And then both hands to the floor, knee to the floor. Inhale, arms up, and then open them out like a T. Inhale through your wingspan. Exhale, rotate by hugging your core muscles in. Back hand down, top arm up to the sky, 3. Good. Breathe for 2. Cartwheel both hands down to the ground. Downward facing dog. Almost done this last set. Inhale forward to plank. Knees, chest, and chin to the floor. Lower down, snake, and then come into your baby cobra and hug your thighs closer together. Make that shift. Interlace your hands, whatever hand on top, and then draw everything up. Arms, legs, locust pose. Good. Keep the back of your neck long. And take all of your attention to your chest. 3. Even if you have to close your eyes to bring your attention there, go there. Downward facing dog. Exhale that back with your core muscles engaged. 3 breaths, you guys. Nice, steady breathing. And now look to your hands and walk your feet nice and gently to the front, keeping your legs as straight as you can to stretch your hammies. Once you're towards the front of your mat, ragdoll pose, feet 6 inches apart. Get kind of raggy with your body, shake it out, hold on to your elbows. And then let the weight of your head relax downward. So 2 more breaths here. And then lower your hands down to the ground. Good. Bring your feet a little closer towards each other and bend your knees. Come up to standing. Take your time. Let the blood rush back down to your legs. Inhale your arms to the ceiling and pull it down to your chest center. Ground your feet. Good. We're going to do a little chest opening flow. Bring your feet about hip distance apart. Bring your arms down next to you and sink until your fingertips touch and you're in this chair pose. So make sure that your chest is higher than your hips. If your chest is lower than your hips, you're in a forward fold. So chest higher. Good. Arms come up in this little chair pose. You're like, what does this have to do with a chest opener? We're getting there. Keep holding for 3. Hug your core muscles in. On your inhale, stand up. Exhale, goalpost arms. So your arms out like this. Good. Take your hands behind you and interlace them and breathe in to lift your chest. Exhale into a forward fold like this. So just like what you were doing in ragdoll, but now your arms behind you and overhead. If your hands are not clasping pretty easily, or is this a little too much for your shoulders, you can use a strap or something here to act as a strap so your hands don't have to interlace, but they can still be behind you. So we're going to do this whole movement that we just did, starting with chair, in a flow for 3 rounds. Lower your hands down, stay in your forward fold. Bend your knees a lot, chest comes up, chair pose, Utkatasana. Stay here for your inhale. Stay for your exhale. Good. Inhale, stand up. Goalpost arms, exhale. Interlace your hands, inhale and lift your chest. Exhale and forward fold that down. 2 more. Lower your hands, inhale to chair pose. Exhale, stand up. Goalpost arms. Interlace your hands behind you, inhale breath. Exhale and forward fold all the way down. Last one, guys. Lower your hands. Inhale to chair pose. Exhale, stand with goalpost arms. Interlace your hands. Inhale, breath. Forward fold. Exhale, arms come overhead. Now stay here for an extra 5. See where you can go in this round of this pose where you haven't gone before, whether it's physically or mentally or with your breath. And lower your hands to the ground. Nice job, guys. Halfway lift. Lengthen out your back. Step your left foot all the way back into a lunge, like we've done before. Inhale your arms up to crescent lunge. Sink your hips low. Open up to warrior 2 pose. So front heel to back heel. And then your front thigh is parallel to the ground as you can get that. Stretch out across your chest, arm to arm. There you go. And then reverse your warrior two. Lengthen through the side of your body. It's really easy to start to straighten that front leg. Keep it bent. Work through your hips. Lengthen through your hips to get there. One more breath, everyone. Good. And then exhale, drop your hands. Straighten your legs slowly without reacting. Turn to face the left side of your mat. Hands to your hips. You're going to inhale, lift your chest like you're climbing out of your waist and going back. And then forward fold. Take your time. Long spine. Hinge at your hips. And fold into like a halfway lift here. Bring your right hand down to the ground or to a block. Left arm up to the sky. Nice open arm twist. You might feel this in your groin, your inner hips. And then take your top arm behind your back for a half bind. I can hold onto my own thigh muscle, and a large part of that is because my arms are kind of long. So if you get there, go there, but you're reaching in that direction, behind your body towards your thigh. Good, one more breath. Keep your chest to the left. And then reach your left arm back up to where it was. Place it down to the ground. Good. You're going to stay in this halfway lift and turn to the back of your mat. I know that might mean that you don't see me anymore, but I'll be as clear as I can with my cues. So you're in the back of your mat with a lunge, all 10 toes facing the back of your mat. Good. Now you're going to go into pyramid pose. So take your back foot about 6 inches forward and off to the right a little bit and ground your back foot on a 45 angle. And fold over your front leg. Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. And press your hips back behind you and your chest towards your front leg. And feel free to bend your front knee to give some TLC to your hamstring if you are overstretching it, or even to bring your hands onto blocks so you're not so deeply folded. One more breath here together. Good. Now halfway lift in this pose and step both feet back so you're in a plank facing the back of your mat. Take one breath in and then lower all the way to the floor, still facing the back of your mat. And you're going to come into a Dhanurasana bow pose where you bend your knees, reach for your ankles. But if you don't want to do that, you can do it on one side or go back to locust with your hands interlaced behind you like we did before. Good, start to kick all the way up. If you have your bow, both legs or one leg. Good, 3. Expand across the front of your chest. Keep your arms going backward. And then lower down to the ground. Just make a pillow for your forehead. 3 breaths. Bring your hands next to your chest. Downward dog facing the back of your yoga mat. Look to your hands, walk your feet towards the back of your mat, which are where your hands are, so walking to your hands. Come into halfway lift, inhale. And step your right foot all the way back. Nice. Okay, still facing the back of your mat, lift your arms up overhead, crescent lunge. Move your left shin forward so you go lower into your lunge, lower into your legs. Inhale, lengthen through your torso. Open up, warrior 2. Nice. Front heel to back heel. And now your chest, turn it to the side of the room. Keep your front knee pointing forward though. It's a little game you've got to play there to turn your chest and keep your front knee forward. Reverse back, nice and long through your left side. Breathe 3. Keep going into it for 2. And then lower your left hand, stand up, straighten your legs, turn to the side of your mat, the same side we faced. Hands at your hips, lift up and lean back slightly. And then hinge over your hips. Sometimes I kind of karate chop at my hip flexors to remind me to hinge there. Feel free to do that. And then hands to the ground and then just halfway lifted, wide-legged fold. Left hand to the ground, right arm comes up. Look up to your top thumb. Keep your eyes to the ceiling and then reach your top arm behind you for this half bind. Take 2 more breaths. And reach your right arm straight up to the ceiling, nice and slow. Be gentle on your shoulder. And lower both hands down to your halfway lift facing the side of your mat. Turn to the front of your mat into a lunge. Back to where we started. And then pyramid pose by shortening and widening your stance. So you want to be able to shorten your stance enough that you can square your hips. If that's pretty easy, step back further. Your stance can be as long as a warrior 1 pose. Good. Lower your chest towards your front leg. Remember your modifications, your supports with your blocks to your hands or a little give in your right knee. Release the weight of your head for 3. And now halfway lift, lengthen out your back. Turn all 10 toes forward and step both feet back to plank pose. Hold here and breathe. And then slowly lower for a count of 4. Use your knees if you like. 3, 2, and soften to the ground without a crash landing. Bow pose, reach for your ankles, Dhammayasana, or locust, or the other side. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, kick up. Breathe, 4. Take it 1 breath at a time, 3. And lower slowly and consciously, make a pillow for your head. Let your low back release. Just breathe here. Bring your hands next to your chest. Curl your back toes. Press up to kneeling tabletop. And then you're going to come up all the way to kneeling just on your shins. So walk your hands up your thighs. Curl your toes under. We're going to go into Ustrasana, camel, which is just like bow, but now on your shins. Toes stay curled. Hands at your low back. I like to have my fingers go up, but you can point them down. Kind of shoulder preference. Your tailbone, don't stick it back. You want to draw it under, lift your chest, and go back by lifting your chin. The key is to keep your hips over your knees. Stay here, or option to bring both hands to each heel. That's it, guys. Breathe for 3. Open through your chest, the front of your shoulders. And then slowly lift up. Use your core muscles. Pull in, pull in. Sit back on your heels with your toes curled for momentary toe squat. Get your pinkies under. About 5 breaths. If that's too much, just come into like a tabletop or point your toes instead. Okay, 1 more time with the option of your toes as they are, or taking it 1 step further. Come on up. 1 step further is to point your feet. Now your heels are further away, harder to reach to. So if that last round was easy, then feel free to point your toes. Hands to your low back. Scoop your tailbone under, lengthen your hip flexors. Lift your chest and go back. Good option here. Stay the whole time, or reaching to each heel, or even to 1 heel. But if you reach to 1 heel, make sure you switch. 3, Lift up, use your core muscles. One more time, just a 5-breath toe squat. Get your pinkies under if you're staying here. Soften your eyes for 3. And steady your breath for 2. Awesome job, you guys. Let's tone it down a little bit. Head into the yin part of our practice with a downward dog. And take your right leg up to the sky. We're going to really get into your hips now. And you're going to take your right shin forward towards your half pigeon. This is a nice classic hip stretch here. So point your back toes backwards, slide your left leg far back. And you're going to be here for just a little over 2 minutes. Which if you've taken class with me before, that's not unusual. But in that time, gravity is going to pull your hips down. So feel free to wedge like a pillow or a blanket or a block under your right hip to keep your hip from sinking further, from stretching more. Start on your forearms if you want. I'm going to start my timer on my phone since I don't have my watch today. So I'm not texting in the middle of the class right now, I promise. And this next portion of your yoga practice is designed to cool us down. Cool down the body, incorporate more stillness after all that movement. And to target and stretch different connective tissues. So I'm going to be more quiet than I was in the first half. And I invite you to embrace the stillness and the quietness as an opportunity for reflection, for relaxation, just an opportunity to be. If you haven't yet, feel free or see if you can bring your forehead to drop onto something, whether it's the floor, the block, or the backs of your hands. If it's possible for you, allow your arms to go out in front and drum out your fingers and release them. Two more breaths. And then lift your head up. Walk your hands back. Nice. And then downward dog. No rush. Actually, the slower you move, the better. Just allow your body to adjust after that long, deep hold. To counter that, I want you to bring your feet to touch, lift your right leg up, turn your right toes out to the right, lift your leg higher, and then bend your knee. Good. So your hips are facing towards the right wall. Breathe, 3. Inhale, straighten your right leg, exhale, lower it down. Okay, other side, left leg comes up, nice full inhale, inhale, inhale. And left shin towards the front of your mat. Finding your half pigeon pose. Make sure you slide your right leg back. And feel that your right knee faces downward and all 5 of your right toenails face the floor. You want to internally turn your back thigh. So just feel that rotation inward of your thigh, the alignment of your back leg before you settle into the pose. One side might feel different than the other. And no matter the sensation, though, can you allow your mind, just like your body, to be as still as possible? Stilling your mind might sound like something that's definitely not for you. But to break it down a little bit, one way to think of stilling your mind is for the next minute to not judge anything. Like for me, I just did what I thought was a pretty good sweep and vacuum and cleaning of my floors this past weekend. But right now I look at my hardwoods and they're really dusty over here. And I see things in my rug, and it was only 24 hours ago that I cleaned it. And so instead of thinking how dusty something is or judging what you notice, just let the things you see be as neutral as you can. 30 more seconds. Two more breaths. And then take your time, nice and slow, so that you can keep the benefits of the pose with you. Make your way to downward dog. And bring your feet to touch, lift your left leg up, hold it there. And turn your left toes to the left wall. Lift your left leg higher and bend your top knee. Inhale, straighten your left leg and lower it down to the ground. Take one breath in your downward dog. Step your right foot between your hands. You're going to turn to face the left side edge of your mat like we've done before in a halfway lift. And you're going to side lunge to the right leg. So turn your right toes out halfway. Walk your hands a little bit to the right and keep your chest facing the side of your mat. Press your hips backwards so that your front knee stays behind your front toes. Just 2 breaths here. We're trying to stretch out your inner hips, your groins, before we do a big groin stretch. Go to the other side. Inhale up to center. Switch your feet. Left toes turn out halfway. Walk your hands towards the left. Keep your chest facing the side of your mat and your left knee behind your left toes. And take 2 breaths here. Inhale to center, align both feet to face the side of your mat. And we're going to go into a frog pose. So if you're close to a wall, you might have to adjust. You're going to walk your hands forward, lower down to one leg at a time, one inner thigh at a time. And then look over each shoulder and make sure that your ankle is underneath each knee or behind each knee. If you're on a hard wood and this just hurts your knee bones, you can take the edges of your mat and roll them under so that you have a double thickness of your mat, or place a blanket across your mat for more padding. And if you have a block that's handy, you can place that block underneath your chest so that your block holds your chest up, not your shoulders. And then let your forehead lower to your hands if that's comfortable. And we're going to be here for 1.5 minutes, which might sound like forever. But we'll take it one breath at a time. And practicing stilling our minds simply by having a non-judgmental mindset at the moment. So anything you see, not labeling it as good or bad or clean or dirty, or that needs to be fixed, or it's just right. Giving yourself the mental break to let things be. Let your breath be, let your body be. For just 50 more seconds. Two more breaths. If you have a block under your chest, remove it. My recommended way of coming out is to slide forward on your stomach as you slide your legs in and back. And then you'll slowly press yourself up, swing your legs around, come into seated, facing the front of your mat. Nice, you survived. We'll go to double pigeon pose. So bring your right shin parallel to the front of your mat. Hold on to your left leg by holding on to your foot and your knee with each hand and cradle your leg around in front of you. Lift your chest to be nice and tall. It'll stretch your glute more. So a couple of options here. I'll start with the main version of the pose and then give you options after that. You're going to place your top ankle on top of your knee, and on the other side, have your ankle go underneath your knee. That might be really hard. You might be leaning back with your knee to your throat. And if that's the case, place your ankle in front of your knee. Center your hips. And then take your time to start to fold, whether it's leaning forward by 1 inch or by 12 more inches. Agni Stambhasana is the Sanskrit name of the pose, which means fire log pose. And imagining that your legs are stacking. While the last pose was a deep stretch of your inner hips, this is a very deep stretch of your outer hips, your glute muscles. And in the nature of this portion of the practice, we're going to hold this too. Another 75 seconds. If you kind of want to dig in the floor with this pose because it's that intense and challenging, I invite you to relax your fingers, drum them out, and bring your attention to each exhale. And with your exhale, imagine that that exhale breath carries out just a little bit of tension every time you breathe out. Two more breaths. And together we're going to take one last breath. So everyone breathe in fully. Stay on your exhale. Breathe out everything you can. Nice. And then lift on up slow if you're folded. Lean back, unwind your legs, and bring them out in front of you so that your feet are flat on the floor. Reverse tabletop to counter stretch that. So fingertips face you. Press all the way up, maybe just a little bit first, and then all the way after that once you're situated. You're going to drive your pelvis to the sky, press out of your shoulders. So another pose to stretch out the front of your chest. If you like, let your head drop all the way back and take 2 breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth or nose. Then one more time, inhale. Stay here and exhale. And then lower down to the ground, breathe all the way out. Good. Other side, Agni Stambhasana, left shin parallel to the front of your mat. Hold on to your right leg. You're going to give it a cradle here. Move around a couple times. You're kind of loosening up your right hip is the point of this, preparing it for the external movement that it's going to do, the rotation. Now place your top ankle on top of your knee. That was option 1. Option 2 is in front of the knee. And center your hips in case they moved around. This is one of our last poses before we head into our final rest. So last opportunity for a nice big release and deep stretch. And as you head into the pose a little bit more, soften your jaw and soften your eyes. And as best as you can for the around 75, 60 seconds left in this pose, I invite you to practice that stillness of your mind again by practicing non-judgment. Just a mindful approach to your mind within this pose of not judging anything as good or bad or right or wrong, or again, clean or dirty or what needs to be fixed in your home. You'll get to all of that in about 8 minutes once class is done. But right now, relax your fingers as best as you can and bring your attention to the sensation and the unlocking of your hips. Take 2 more breaths. And this last breath we'll do together. So everyone inhale. Take your longest breath out. Give into the pose as much as you can. And then lift your chest all the way up vertically. Lean back slightly to untangle your legs. Place your feet flat to the floor out in front of you. Bring your hands to the floor behind your hips, about 6 inches back, with your fingers facing the front of your mat. Lift your hips a little bit, then press all the way up, reverse tabletop pose. Drive your pelvis to the sky, push out of your shoulders, and lift your chin or let your head drop all the way back. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth or nose. Then one more inhale. Stay here and exhale all the way out. And then lower your hips slow, slow, slow. And lower onto your back with control. Draw both knees into your chest without touching them. Bring your arms out like a T. And lower both your legs to the right for a twist. Now look at the height of your knees compared to your torso, and you want your knees at about belly button height or higher. If your knees go below your belly button height here, it just puts a lot of pressure to the low back. So it just gives you a nice healthy twist with your knees higher. Draw your right shoulder out from underneath you and bring your eyes over your left arm. Just see what you see neutrally and without judgment. Use your core muscles to hug your knees to your chest and pull them back up. Head to the other side. You might want to scooch your hips to the right first and then drop your knees to the left. Keeping your knees at belly button height or higher. Draw your left shoulder out from underneath you and bring your eyes over your right arm. Seeing what you see neutrally and without judgment. Use your core muscles, draw your legs back in. Place your feet on the floor, align your hips and your body at the center of your mat. Extend your legs down to the corners, bring your arms at your sides with your palms facing up, Shavasana. And take a nice long inhale, breathe in for 3, for 2. Hold your breath for a moment at the top. And then exhale out for 6, for 5, 4, 3, 2. And then just take a breath on your own. And allow the weight of your body to settle to the floor. Allow the weight of your head and your skull to relax into the mat. Just one more minute here to rest in as much stillness and silence as you can create. Keep your body still and take a deep breath in. Keep your body still and take a long breath out. And slowly move your head to one side and then to the next. And back to center. And move your fingers and your toes. And then slowly bend your knees to roll off to your right side. And press yourself all the way up to a comfortable seat facing the front of your mat. Sitting any way you'd like, on your shins, on a block, legs crossed. We'll meet there with our eyes closed and your hands to your legs. Inhale your arms out and up overhead like you're gathering in your whole practice. Bring that down to your chest center with your hands in a prayer position. And bring your thumbs to your forehead center. And slightly draw your chin to your chest and take a moment to acknowledge yourself for being here today. Wonderful job, everyone. You can open your eyes. Great work in today's practice. I will be here every Monday, 5 p.m. and Facebook Live or Zoom, but I'll see you at either one. Feel free to comment or ask a question in any platform that you're on. I'd be happy to get back to you. But do check out my website, yogawithlindsay.com. I have a couple of upcoming online courses like on alignment and breathing and just some yoga practice things. So I'd love to see you there if you'd love to join. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week.